I'm Taylor Cameron, your Google Business Professor, here to help you with all of your Google business needs. Let's get started.
I am here to help you optimize your Google business profile. And by optimize, I mean I'm going to show you the little tips and tricks that you may not have known about prior to help you make the best use out of this free business listing from Google. There are a few things that I find really helpful to have ready to go before you start. So those items are, number one, a written description of your business. Number two, a list of the services your business offers, and ideally short descriptions of each of those. Written content about who you are and what you do that we can put on a free landing page that Google gives you. And then lastly, having your logo file as well as a header image for that free web page are really great to have front and center. Pretty much everything else you're probably going to already know about your business. And if not, the beauty of a video is that you can stop, pause, record, rewind rather, all that good stuff. So let's just dive right in. Huge shout out and thank you to Downing Insurance Partners in Irmo, South Carolina, and actually in the Columbia, South Carolina area. And they are letting us use their brand new Google business page to show you how to optimize this. So we are actually putting content on a real live page right now. So once you have logged into your Google business profile, and I'll just take a note here to say that if you've not already created one, please go ahead and watch our video on how to do that first, and then come back here to finish filling it all out. This is what it looks like when you're logged in. And we're gonna literally just kind of start running through these little icons to see how you can use them to better use your Google business account. So here we go. Number one, edit profile. All right, so you have your business name of Downing Insurance Partners. Excellent, okay, that should be pretty easy. Your business category. You likely only have one category in here from when you created your account. I've already added two, but I just wanted to let you know that no matter what industry you're in, take a couple minutes to try to search through the different categories that Google has in here, because very likely more than one applies to you, which means that it's just another way for people to find you on Google. So in this case, if I type in insurance, you'll see all these different options pop up for insurance, right? I mean, this is quite a few options. I happen to know that Downing Insurance Partners specializes in auto insurance and home insurance, so I've chosen those as the additional categories. I typically caution against more than 3 categories. It seems like sometimes then it gets a little muddled and confusing on the back end, but you can of course try it and see how it works for you. When you're done, just hit save. Don't be afraid to use different phrases as well. So if something doesn't make sense or you can't find it, it's very possible there's another way of using an expression to find what you're looking for. So sometimes, plumber versus plumbing, that kind of thing, just change up how you're searching. The next step is your description. And you can see that there is a really short description in here. It's very to the point, and it does tell what Downing Insurance Partners does. But when I was getting ready for this, I went ahead and had a little more content put together for them. I wanted it to just sound a little bit better, and I have it ready to go. So I'm truly just going to copy and paste this in here. And you'll see right here that there's a little 750, and that is because 750 is the maximum number of characters you can have in the description. And by characters, I do mean every punctuation, space, the works. You'll see that as I'm hitting the space bar, the numbers, slowly responding, there we go. The numbers are going up because that counts. So take that into consideration when you're writing your description. In your description, you should definitely reference the name of your business. You should explain what you do as well as why you are the company or the individual that they want to use, right? So this is kind of like a short and tiny sales pitch about your company. When you're done, hit save. The opening date is always great to have in here. I'm sorry, I'm also going to just tell you, it says your edit is pending. This is completely normal. Do not let this panic you. Very rarely does an update not take, and it'll go away in just a little bit, and the new one should take its place. Moving on, we have phone number. If you were to have more than one phone number, you can add a second number so that it is listed. Your website definitely needs to be in this space. And right here is where we have the link that we're going to be able to manage our web page with Google. I will get more into this in just a few minutes. Let's just continue for now down these basic areas. Service area. So this is a great start that North Carolina and South Carolina are serviced. However, especially if you have a local location people can walk into, we really want to target that area market. So I typically start by saying, let's take a look at the county, like the county you're in or the closest counties that you service. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do Lexington County, South Carolina, and we're going to do Richland County, South Carolina. And then I'm going to narrow down the towns. Now, again, I know the Downing Insurance Partners pretty well, so I know what areas they're in. So I'm going to go ahead and use zip codes to make this go a little bit faster for myself. You can also manually type this in. You can do it however you would like. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the zip codes surrounding this company. I'm also doing the small little towns on the outskirts as well as zip codes a bit farther away. You'll notice that a lot of these are Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia is a pretty good size area, so there's actually a lot of zip codes that span this side of town, or this entire town, I should say. And funny enough, I've done this enough that the majority of them I kind of know by heart. And then I'm also going to hit the West Columbia side. And we're going to do Lexington. And I usually say around 20 or so is okay. You're going to also see that there's suggested service areas by Google. These are awesome because Google will often take, what we know is a small neighborhood and consider it an area. And having those associated with your account is never a bad thing. But it's going to max you out at 20. So just pick the areas that make the most sense for your business. When you're done, go ahead and hit save and give it a second to update. And once again, you'll see that there are pending updates. Your business hours. Now, I want to give a note here on business hours. In this case, this has already been done and it has been done perfectly. So unless you actually provide emergency services and are truly open 24 hours a day, then please put your hours in as hours you accept phone calls and or customers to your business. There is truly a difference in those items and it's important to make them correct. Now, just so that you know, in case you needed to make any updates to these, you're just going to click on it. They make it very easy to mark something closed or to just click on it and change your time. If you perhaps close during the day for lunch, you can use this little plus sign and add a second number of hours. So if you're going to always be closed and out of the office from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., go ahead and make yourself open from 9 to 12 and then 1 to 2. So that way that is reflected and accurate. Keep in mind that a lot of people are going to use this listing. This listing is what drives your listing on Google Maps and things like that. So it's definitely important to be giving your customers correct information. When you're done with this section, go ahead and hit save. For holiday hours, this is the same thing where you want to go ahead and put in your holiday hours whenever you know them. Some places plan it for the year. Some just do it, when they remember a holiday's coming up. But either way, this is Google suggesting that there's a good chance that they are going to be closed on April 9th. April 9th, however, is a Sunday. This company is already closed on Sundays. I'm not going to worry about it. But if they were perhaps going to be closed for Memorial Day weekend, then I might go ahead and click through to May and mark them on the 29th of May as closed and go ahead and hit save. This way, customers will now know they're not open for business that day. You'll then see that there's a variety of hour types available here. So if you are a business that offers delivery or drive-through hours, you can go ahead and use these for additional hour listings. The next section down here is more. This from the business is a great little section just to kind of use depending on whether these apply to your business or not. So if any of them apply, go ahead and hit save after you select them. And we're just going to keep going down through. Okay, so you might have places that are specifically geared towards certain crowds. Go ahead and fill that out. If you are a place that is a by appointment only and does not allow walk-ins, go ahead and select this option. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I forgot to ask this of Downing Insurance Partners. So I'm going to say no because I think that they might allow walk-ins, but I will verify afterwards and change this if need be. For service options, this is whether you can do online appointments. So if you have any sort of virtual meeting or anything like that you offer to your clients, you can go ahead and say yes to that. And then that completes this entire section. So we just did the whole profile thing. The contact, location, hours, and more is all done by scrolling or selecting at the top. So once you complete that, you can either close out or use your little back arrow. Okay, so if you've gotten this far, then you have done a huge part of editing your profile. The next step, because there are more, to really optimizing your account is this one right here for edit services. Now, I'm gearing this towards service-based businesses, but I will do a brief overview of products in just a minute. Right here, this is where we're going to load in descriptions for each type of service that your company offers. So this is one of those things I said you might want to have ready to go. And in my case, I do have these ready because I was prepared for this. So we're going to make this really easy. For auto insurance, I'm going to copy my description. I'm going to click on auto insurance, and I'm going to go ahead and paste my description. You'll notice that there's a max of 300 characters, and I came in under that amount. And I'm not putting a price on this because this is something that we offer free quotes, and there's really just no need to put a price on these services. That is, however, entirely your call if you decide that you want to do more. So I'm just going to run through right now, and you're going to see me just kind of throw in some of these descriptions. And you'll also notice that sometimes they're very short. Sometimes you don't need to say a lot, but here's the things that you do need to know. When you are writing your service descriptions, you should go ahead and make sure that the description of your service name is correct, and try to use that in your verbiage here in the description if you can. Consider these really short sales pitches. The other thing that's important is different people use different verbiage when they are searching for something. So if there's a different phrase other than motorcycle insurance that people might use, you might want to also work that phrase in. So, instead of saying right here, motorcycle insurance, you might want to say, insurance for bikers or something like that. So just think about those phrases that might be used and use your service descriptions as a way that you can work in those extra terms. Whenever you work those in, you are helping Google understand what you do. All right, so the next thing, as I'm pasting these in, is Google will oftentimes, I hit close, we're gonna go right back in. Google will oftentimes push through types of insurance it thinks you do. So for example, right here for pet insurance, they are like, hey, Downing Insurance Partners must offer pet insurance. Guess what? They don't. So I'm gonna click on this item and I'm gonna delete the service. Okay, it's gonna tell you that it's gonna be deleted and no longer visible. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that sometimes Google gets really insistent and they really think, their algorithm really thinks you offer that kind of insurance. I recommend at least once a month coming in and looking at these to see if any have popped through that you do not do, or maybe some have popped through with phrases that you would not have thought to put here, but that are relevant. So just keep an eye on those things. I'm going to finish putting these in right here. Here's one for renters insurance. You'll notice that these are different types of insurance and different ways that she might offer her services. And you'll also notice that some duplicate. So this auto insurance one, it's duplicated down here automatically because Google understands that it falls into the auto insurance category, which is actually really cool and really helpful because it's saving you some work. I'm going to come back up here to, nope, I haven't done home yet. Okay, so she's got one here for SR22 insurance. But if you've noticed, that's not on our list of services. So we're going to use this little blue plus add more services spot. And we're going to add a custom service, and it's going to say SR22 insurance because this is something she wants people to know that she does. We click save, and now here it is. We can click on it again, and we can go ahead and add our service description, and we hit save. All right, that is really the major stuff, and I'm just going to keep doing these just so that you kind of see what we're doing, because here's one for motor home insurance. So this was also not listed on her list of services, or not on the list that was in here anyway. So we're adding it in. And I'll come back in and do the rest of these later so that I don't bore you, but I just wanted you to see how we go about doing this. We're going to add home insurance ones. So as soon as we get down here, you'll see that I have some for home insurance. And this also makes me realize I might be missing some because I have motor insurance. And I have, if you look at here, I did secondary homes, but I did not think to do one for just plain old home insurance. So that is something I'm going to come back in and do. And I'm going to check next week to see if Google gave any suggestions of services that maybe we didn't think of that I could write some descriptions for. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and call the service description area done. So just a brief overview, add in any services that are not already listed, delete the ones that are not relevant, and then for once they're added in, go ahead and write yourself short little sales pitches that describe, that you're able to help provide that service. Okay. So that is one of the really major areas. Having those different terms of services that you offer with information on them is really important, and it really does tell Google what you do. Okay, so there's a couple of other things you can do. I told you I was focusing on services, but if you are a company that does products, you can go ahead and set up products, much like services, but it's a little different. You're going to give it a name. You're going to create a category that your product falls in. You're going to give it prices, which you don't have to do, optional. A brief description. This one you can do longer than service descriptions, which is really nice. And then for this product landing page URL, if you are an online store, you're going to go ahead and drop a link to buy that item, and you can do a photo of the item. I will do another video later on just doing this a little bit more if need be, if there's enough need for it, but that gives you a quick overview. Once you hit publish, your item will be live on Google and people will be able to see it over here. So the next step for a really complete optimization is utilizing the web page that they give you for free.